So, it literally was, like, he had invited me out previously, but then he invited me out again and, like, literally invited me out to Australia, beginning of June. And I'm saying this because this is not even like just, it was like a month and a half. Okay, a month and a bit, a month and a half ago, something like that. That's it. That was it. We had a big conversation about it, and it was all worked out. And coming out there, great, excellent, cool. Then I start to investigate, like try to, like ask some actual relationship questions, like, hey, who was the girl you slept with while we weren't talking? And like, can you just like at least tell me her name? Like, by the way, disclaimer, like, this is not in any way to shame her or try to get back at her or go find her. Nothing. Nothing. The purpose of asking this was to get him to open up and just, yeah, maybe pretty much just to test him. Like, are you being fucking transparent with me? Like, can you just tell me, like, her name? Like, who, like, I know you slept with another woman since we've been together. So just tell me, what's her name? That was it. That's all I asked. And it was a big fight. Moving on. So then anytime there's a big discussion like this and it's really difficult and it's hard, and then there's like this cycle of like, I have like, okay, so then we quote unquote resolve it, but then the next few days are hard because he's like, oh, fuck this bitch, like, or whatever he's thinking, but like he distances himself, and then I'm fighting to try to like get back to where we were before I had to ask him about the thing, like, I'm like, okay, I just wanted you to actually be honest with me about like, who. I don't need, I even said this to him, I don't need to know her last name, just give me a first name in case. And actually, I remember this now. You know how this came up? This is gonna be embarrassing. How this came up was in a sexy, flirty text or whatever. And I was like, oh, did you do that with that girl? And he was like, no. Well, can you at least tell me her name so when I, you know, just because it was just like, this nameless person, which I now do have at least the first name of. Like, I don't care about her last name. I'm not gonna go searching for her. I am not that kind of person. Okay. By the way, if anyone involved is watching this, I am not that kind of person. I am not gonna go searching for. I don't have the time for that, for one thing. I don't have time or attention or whatever for that, okay? And she has nothing to do with me. But what I cared about was his transparency with me, his honesty. That's all I cared about. That's literally all I cared about. Um, And that's all I do care about. I care about honesty and transparency. And yeah. So that was a big issue. And whenever I would ask him a question, and he got really uncomfortable, and I would try to press on. I would say, but, like, why aren't you just telling me? Like, just sort of like, just tell me, like, what is the thing? Like, what, just, so, like, we're in a relationship, right? Like, we're together, right? Like, I'm coming out there, right? And then he'd be like, yeah, but no, I don't want to do that right now. And I'm like, but I'm I'm coming out there, and then you're not willing to be honest with me about this right now. Like, what? Like, please explain that to me. Like, what? I'm missing something here. Like, how is that right? So that was one thing. So, like I said, the cycle of how, like, so so then we have our conversations, and I'm like, I finally, drag it out and all that sort of stuff. But what happens, like, the normal cycle is we'd have these, like, a few days of, we have to talk about it and stuff. Like, I have to, like, I'm just trying to get this one answer. Just an answer. Who is it? Like, what happened? Like, that's it. That's literally it. I'm not gonna go chasing after her. Why would I do that? I'm not a fucking psycho bitch. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I don't care. I'm not gonna go, try to message her, or like, like, that's stupid. Like, that's fucking stupid, crazy shit. What I cared about was his honesty. Okay, so so there'd be days of this, and I'm just like trying to get an answer to a question. But then after the days of that, because it's so hard and it's so, like, oh, now I need to take days to recover from you. So I finally get an answer to his question, like, great, happy, thanks, cool, okay, thank you for answering me. Great. Good. Okay, we can move on now, right? No. No. um so then um so then we resolve it, right? Like, to, like, we finished the conversation, great. Like, it's all good, right? Like, everything's good. No. Then he has to take his days of recovery because he can't stand being accountable, or like, I don't know what the fuck, like, he's super didn't want to talk about the truth with me. So he's got to take days to recover from my, you know, whatever he labels that as. Oh, no. I know what he labels it as. My nagging. That's it. I was just nagging, and that's what he's been saying for the past few months. Nagging. My nagging. Nagging him on, just tell me who it is. Okay, well, can you just be honest? Blah, blah, blah. Cool. He's gonna take days to recover from my nagging. Meanwhile, I have shit blowing up in my life, and I have shit happening in my life, and I'm working on stuff as well. Meanwhile, I'm also thinking, like, oh, I thought we finished the conversation off good, like, but now he's not even talking to me. Now he's like, you know, like what's going on, right? Or whatever, like, you know, I give it a day or two. You know, because we're used to like talking every day, right? Like, so I give it a couple days, and then, you know, either he reaches out or I reach out or whatever, and I'm like, so, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how's it going? You know, blah blah blah. But inside my mind, I'm thinking like I can feel the distance, you know, and that stuff happens, and because he's shut down on me, and he's like, oh fuck, like, I just can't. Why do I have to answer her questions? But honesty and transparency in any relationship is very important, okay? Not to mention long distance. Okay. So, so that was one issue. And then so that was in June. In March, was it March, no, that was in February. Okay, so February, yeah. So February, there was an issue where I was like, I was going to Houston. And I was like, so, why aren't we even sharing locations? And so we did. But then I was like, are you still sharing locations with your ex-wife? And he was like, yeah, but. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that. But this was in February, okay? And we had already like like we were together. Like there was no nothing about like nothing that had happened in March yet had happened, and and our current plan at that point was he was going to come out here in the summer, basically now. And and I was just like, you know, I'm kind of not comfortable. And then he blew up at me, like literally lost his shit. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, so that was that at that time. Okay. So then, um, most recently, we were talking again on the 10th of July. He invited me because, you know, obviously we had another discussion where I'm nagging and he's the, you know, the victim of my nagging. Probably just asking about him to be transparent. Anyway, whatever. So we talk again, but we had been, you know, online back together. You know what I mean? Like flirting and sexing and stuff like that. So, so July 10th. So, okay. Um, he invites me out there again, right? Anyway, I'm gonna skip forward a lot. Um, we work everything out. Next day, he flips off at me on the phone. But the day before, when we were working everything out, we had talked about this thing about creating mutual respect with, like, he wanted to keep this friendship with his ex-wife, which I wasn't opposed to. I was like, okay, cool. Well, how can we all make this good? But for some reason, he was like, oh, I don't know. Like, so I don't know what's happening. But the next day, he calls me, flips me off, literally flips me off. And then basically, it's off. The day before, I confirmed with him when he was trying to sext with me. I'm like, so we're in a relationship, right? Like, this is, like, we call this a relationship, right? We don't lie about it. We're in a relationship, right? He said, yeah. So the issues were being transparent about the person that he was with before, like, between the time he and I had been together, and his ex-wife and his relationship or friendship or whatever you want to call it with her. Oh, and there were other things where he was like, I'm going to go on a day hike with her. Is that okay? Like, by the way, I'm going to do that. I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm not okay with that. Like, that totally crosses my boundary. I'm not okay with that. Like, you're trying to build a relationship with me, and yet you're asking to go on a day hike, basically a date, with your ex-wife. What? uh, who does, like, who would be okay with that? I'm sorry, but, like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not okay with that. And another fight. Like, so the issues were loyalty, truthfulness, faithfulness, transparency on who you're with.